Hello everyone, how's it going? And welcome to the patch notes for Wild Rift patch 5.3b. There are some pretty crazy changes in these patches, more notably to Blitzcrank. You're going to be seeing a crazy buff to Blitzcrank with his damage, which I think is going to be very, very interesting. I'm definitely going to test him out. And also a buff to a rune that has been underperforming for quite some time. Again, it's super excited to see how that's going to change things in the meta. But there are some other things that are coming to this patch as well. As you can see there might be something else coming soon, which is probably relating to something arcane related, whether that's related to like the Singed or Warwick reworks, or it's maybe something to do with the new skins. Obviously, there's the arcane season pass that's currently out at the moment that you can level up. First, we have the new features. We have the showdown mode. I'm not going to really read through this, to be fair. I don't really play any of the modes like Earth or Showdown or anything like that. If you want to give a quick read, you can pause on the video and give it all a read. I'm still waiting for Nexus Blitz. I think Nexus Blitz is by far the best game mode that they've brought out to League of Legends. But unfortunately, nothing has come out yet for Wild Rift in terms of Nexus Blitz. Black Friday Madness, complete missions by playing games and earn goodies. For some reason, it says this event begins on November 11th, but I haven't seen the event in game at all. So I don't know which one this is, but maybe the date is just wrong. I'm not really too sure. Anyway, champion changes. Oh boy, this is going to be interesting. This is going to make things pretty interesting. Okay, I might try AP Blitzcrank, like full AP burst Blitzcrank, and I'll explain why. Rocket Grab. Base damage going up, really, really nice. I mean, the ability power percentage is still the same, but base damage going up by 10, 20, 30, and 40. So max level, at level 6 or 7, you're getting an extra 40 damage on your hook, which means you actually need to hit your hook. But, you know, you can hit your hook and do a crazy amount of damage now. Awesome. Overdrive, now the slow duration at the end of Overdrive, and also the second cast of Overdrive, which if you don't know, Overdrive, you can cast it once, then cast it again to get more movement speed, but then you get more slow afterwards. That's been reduced by 0.5 seconds, also 1 second. So this is going to be really good now, the double cast, because you're not going to get slowed as long anymore. But look at this. Ultimate, active damage, plus 75, plus 75, plus 75. What the hell is going on? 75 base damage on the ultimate, 40 extra damage on the hook. Like, what is going on? I mean, the AP ratios have not changed, but that doesn't mean that like it's still going to be crazy good. Like, these are some these are crazy buffs to Blitzcrank. I mean, maybe they've seen my tier list and they've seen that Blitzcrank is super low on the tier, so it's like, yeah, let's give him a crazy buff. Let's make him like SNS plus tier this patch. So hey, I mean, it is arcane, it is Piltover and Zorn, so I guess they're buffing some Zorn champions like Blitzcrank, which is pretty funny. But yeah, I'm definitely going to try out Blitzcrank. I mean, jokes aside, I don't think 4 AP is probably going to be the way to go, but having the base damage be increased is really, really nice. It means that you're going to just be able to do more damage, and also it's going to help things like Zeke's convergence as well. Again, going to be able to deal more damage with items like that. Samira, no surprise that Samira has been underperforming for quite some time. There's just so much crowd control in the game, and also in general, lethal tempo champions are just much stronger at the moment. So they are buffing the percent attack damage ratio on the ultimate to try and help with the damage. I don't think it's going to do too much, to be honest with you. I still think Samira is probably going to stay the same. 10% attack damage on the ultimate just by itself, probably not going to be enough. Shyvana, again, another champion. Shyvana's a bit of a weird one, right? So she's really strong if she can just like AFK farm through the jungle, if you can get epic monsters for free, like dragons and things like that. And then if you scale, if you get into the mid and late game, then you become a lot stronger and you become very, very difficult to kill. The problem is, if you get hit by any crowd control, you can get kited very easily as well, and it can be very difficult. So these stats in general are quite nice. I mean, in terms of the early game, getting 20 base health is quite nice, makes you healthy throughout the jungle, means that you can try and contest the first scuttle crabs with Shyvana, which normally you can't really do because early levels with Shyvana is pretty weak. Armor per level as well, so you get a nice little bit of extra armor. You get like 8 or 9 extra armor now at max level. On the passive, you now get more stacks from epic monsters. So again, things like dragons, heralds, barons, things like that, you get 2 extra stacks. This, I think, is the big change on the ultimate. Fury gained per second is going up by nearly, well, by basically 0.5 every single level. So now if you have your ultimate at the max, you're gaining 2.5 fury per second. And the big thing is you want to get as much fury as possible to use your ultimate. This means that you can use your ultimate more often, and you'll be able to just farm through and get your ultimate, so you can actually join team fights a lot quicker as well, which is really, really nice. And the health gained when you use Dragon's Descent as well, so when you use the ultimate, is going up by pretty much 70 every single level, 300, 400, and now 500 at the maximum level. So you're going to get a little bit more tankiness now with Shyvana with the ultimate. You're going to be able to get ultimate a little bit quicker, you get more stacks, and also you have some base health to help you, base stats to help you in the early game as well. So overall, these are some really, really nice changes to Shyvana, and again, another champion that I have to give a try, because she's kind of one of them junglers that are pretty easy to play. You can just farm up, you don't really have to do too much in terms of ganking, and then you can just power farm and just scale as much as possible. As a mid laner, Echo's performance has been a bit lackluster. We're making sure he has an easier time farming in lane to scale better into late game. Time window, cooldown, going down by 1 second every single rank. Quite nice. Damage of output. Damage is going up. The base damage is going up by 5 per level. Not too bad. I'm guessing the returning is also going up by 5 per level. Okay, just a little bit of a base damage buff on the first ability, which is just going to help his wave clear in general. Obviously, the cooldown going down by 1 second as well is quite nice. But the damage to monsters is going down. Okay, so the buff in the ability itself, honestly, I think this is probably not enough. I think this probably should go down by maybe like 10% or even 20%. Because if you think about it, the base damage that you get now from your first ability, where you got the first part of the ability going up, going out, and then the second part of the ability coming back. So you're basically getting like 10 base damage overall on the on first ability in general. And also the cooldown is going down by 1 second as well. So this will probably still make Echo jungle a little bit stronger as well. I still need to test out Fleet Footwork on Echo because of the way Fleet Footwork works now. You can proc your passive a lot sooner. I still think things like Electrocute and First Strike are better because it just gives you more burst damage. But maybe I'll try out Fleet Footwork and I'll try out these buffs. I don't think Echo mid lane will be as good, but I think Echo jungle might be a little bit stronger, especially with some of these changes. Nautilus, they're trying to make Nautilus support more of a thing, and they're trying to nerf the AP ratio on Nautilus to kind of stop Nautilus jungle being a thing. Base attack damage, though, is going to help Nautilus a little bit in the jungle, help a bit with his clear speed, but again, this will also help him during like the laning phase and just in general with being able to trade in the early game. If you land your hook, you can do a little bit more auto attack damage. First ability, as I mentioned, the base damage is going up, the AP ratio is going down. They're a little bit worried that if they buff Nautilus too much in terms of the jungle clear and also the AP ratio, then AP Nautilus is going to come back into the meta, which is pretty scary. So I don't mind this, buffing the base damage, which helps support Nautilus, nerfing the AP damage to nerf AP jungle Nautilus. And then the shield on the ultimate, the base value is going up, and the percentage of maximum health is also going up as well on the second ability, sorry. So yeah, more value, more shielding, a little bit more damage, and more base attack damage as well. So overall, not too bad changes for Nautilus. Again, I think it's just a case at the moment that tank supports in general are not really performing that well, just because the likes of Milio and Janna are very strong at the moment, which you'll see Milio and Janna, again, a bit of a nerf, but that's a little bit later on. Rengar, there are so many changes happening to Rengar. I mean, obviously it's going to be a nerf to Rengar. If any of you have played against Rengar or even with a Rengar, you'll know how strong Rengar is at the moment in the current meta. Incredible one-shot potential, crazy escape mechanics, lockdown as well with crowd control. Jungle clear speed is incredibly powerful, so no surprise that Rengar is getting a bit of a nerf. AD per level going down by 0.5. The first ability, the bonus damage, the base damage going down by 10. The attack damage is staying the same though, so it's just the bonus damage you get on your first ability. Bonus damage with Ferocity, which is his passive, so this is the empowered first ability. Again, the base value is going down. It just seems like in general they're just nerfing the base values quite a lot. Damage boost with empowered basic attacks, again being lowered, and damage boost with empowered base attacks and Infinity Edge also going down. So kind of nerfing crit Rengar as well as nerfing the basic attacks in general as well. So yeah, it's pretty scary to be fair that they're nerfing Rengar this much. They reworked him, he was really good, and now they're doing like these crazy nerfs. I mean, that's just with the first ability, right, in terms of how much damage is being reduced. You then have the third ability, which is also getting reduced in damage. This time it's going to be the bonus attack damage ratio, which is going down by 10%. and damage with ferocity, which is the empowered version. Again, the bonus attack damage is going down. And your ultimate, you can't use as much now. It's now going on a 10-second longer cooldown. This is going to hurt Rengar quite a bit. I don't know if this will be, I mean, I think this won't make him like S+ tier. I don't think it will make him extremely powerful anymore. I think it will be a case of trying to find the right opportunities to go in, trying to find the right angles, right ultimates as well, especially with your ultimate being on a longer cooldown. But your burst damage in general is getting lowered, which means that it's going to be more difficult to try and burst down champions. I still think you'll be able to burst champions down because it's just kind of the base damage going down. Your empowered auto attacks afterwards are not going to do as much damage, but hopefully you'll be able to kill them just before that. We'll have to see. Again, I don't think he's going to be S+ tier anymore. He might still be like S tier, to be fair, just with how strong he is, especially with his kind of rework that happens. Milio, thank God that this champion is being nerfed. I mean, I thought that Milio was going to get nerfed in the previous patch, but he didn't for some reason. He's still got untouched. I don't know how. He's been strong for quite some time. Base health going down is incredible. Means that tank supports now, like Nautilus, have more of an opportunity to land his hook and also deal more damage. Same with the base armor. So if he walks up, if he try and uses his auto attacks, or try and use his first ability to do a bit of damage, he's going to take more damage as well at the same time, with the base health and the base armor going down. So this is going to nerf a lot of Milio in the early game, especially in the laning phase as well. Like, this is going to hurt Milio a lot. Bonus damage on your passive. This is if you kind of shield yourself or shield allied champions. 15% of the attack damage of allied champions is now going to 10% attack damage of allied champions. So nerfing the damage bonus that you give over to your AD carries. The cooldown of Cozy Campfire is going up at every single level by a lot during the late game as well. And again, the increased attack range is being nerfed during the late game. This has been nerfed twice already. I'm pretty sure this was up at like 19% or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe even higher than that. I can't remember. But this attack range has already been nerfed multiple times. I think that no one's really surprised by this, especially because like Lethal Tempo giving you range, Cozy Campfire giving you extra range as well. It's just way too difficult. And also the bonus movement speed going down. I mean, these are really big nerfs, to be fair. 3% nerf on the movement speeds, 1.5% nerf on the attack range, with also the cooldown going up as well, like by 3.5 seconds during the late game. Bonus AD going down as well, so you're not going to give as much damage over. And also Milio in general is a lot squishier. So I really do hope that this brings Milio down by quite a bit, because I mean, especially with like tank supports being buffed, like Blitzcrank, for example. I mean, Blitzcrank was always the kind of enchanter support killer, really. Or, you know, in all that time in PC League of Legends, you just hook the support, burst them down. Hey, if anyone picks Milio next patch, I'm definitely picking Blitzcrank, that's for sure. Janna also being nerfed as well. Yeah, again, just a very safe support to play. You have your tornadoes, you have your ultimate, you have your shields, which is just very, very powerful. The shields are going up in the early game especially, so you're not going to be able to use your shield as often, but it stays the same cooldown in the late game, which is not that bad. Hound Gale, your first ability, takes a little bit more time now to charge up. So you can't use the ability as often, and also the base damage going down ever so slightly. Honestly, I don't think these nerfs are enough, to be fair. I mean, the shield in the early game is going to be a little bit scary, but to be fair, most of the time you max this ability first anyway, so you're going to be going to 10 seconds at like level 6, level 7, so I think that's completely fine. Charge time plus 2 seconds, I don't think it means that much of a difference, and I think the damage means nothing at all to Janna. The thing is about Janna is that she's one of the best peeling supports in the game. You have your shield, you have your movement speed, you have your first ability, which can knock up, which could be really good at cancelling things like jumps and charges or anything like that. And also you have your ultimate as well at the same time, which pushes enemies back and does a bunch of healing. So in general, I don't think this is going to be too much. I mean, this is not as big as like Milio's nerfs, for example. Heimerdinger, nerfing the scaling of Heimerdinger, so the AP ratio is going down on his first ability, which was definitely needed, and also the base damage going down as well. The laser damage, the base damage going down. I don't think the on-hit damage is going down. No, it's just the AP ratio. I mean, these are big numbers. Minus 10%, minus 10%. That was kind of the scary thing about Heimerdinger, is that his scaling was very, very powerful, and his turrets did so much damage in the mid and late game, so they probably should have nerfed the ability power ratio before, but maybe they were testing the base damage. But yeah, ability power ratio going down is really, really nice. Third ability, the slowdown range is going down. Also, the stun range is going down. So it means you you have to be more precise now with your Storm Grenade and actually hit it to perfection. And also the AP ratio going down on the upgraded turret as well. So AP ratio going down, and also the base damage going down as well. Base damage staying the same, and AP ratio going down. Again, this is going to nerf a lot with Heimerdinger in terms of his scaling, with how much ability power he can build. I still think Heimerdinger will be pretty okay. I don't think he'll be like crazy strong again, but I still think he'll be in a completely fine spot. This is one change I'm super excited about as well. Aftershock. Now, if you don't know, Glacial Augment has just been dominating in terms of tank supports, even junglers, to be fair as well. Like tank junglers, a lot of the time you will go for Glacial Augment because of the slows and because of the damage, the negative damage effect that you give over to enemy champions. But now they're actually buffing Aftershock, which is super nice, to be fair. So mobilize the enemy champion will now grant the same base amount, which is 35 armor and magic resist, but now it scales plus. Now it pluses with 80% bonus armor instead of 60%. So now you're going to get a little bit more tankiness, which is really, really nice. Also the same with magic resist as well. And also the damage is going up as well. Like, look at this damage. You're getting over double the amount of damage now during the early game, and a little bit more damage during the late game as well. And it still scales with your maximum health. So these are going to be really, really nice changes, I think. And it might change things up. I mean, even champions like Amumu in the jungle at the moment is running Aftershock at the moment, but it's going to be a really, really huge buff to him. I mean, I would be surprised if tank Amumu might be one of the best junglers after this patch. Tank supports as well. You're going to be able to deal more damage. Now you're going to be able to get more armor resistance when you land your crowd control. Overall, it's a change that should have happened, in my opinion, a long time ago, with just how powerful Glacial Augment has been. But it's still a welcome change anyway. Better late than never, as they say. And then you have some ARAM changes here. Donga, Kassadin, Gwen, yeah, some ARAM changes. They don't have the skins, but I'm pretty sure the Darkstar skins are coming out this patch, and also probably the Arcane skins are coming out as well. But overall, some really, really nice changes. I mean, this change in general is just going to make my day. I feel like it's going to be fun playing Blitzcrank. I haven't played Blitzcrank probably for quite some time. And yeah, plus 75 damage on his ultimate is going to be very, very fun to play with. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the rundown of the patch notes. Let me know what you think, as always, down in the comments. Take care of yourselves. Have a good rest of the day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you tune into the stream tomorrow, where I'll be playing the new patch and testing out all of these changes. So see you tomorrow. Take care. Have a good one. Peace.